Are you ready for the ultimate, penultimate, pentatonic altimeter pen? You better be. There's never been a second to last pentatonic altimeter pen battle like this one.
Bitch, I know I have a sticker on my nose. Mind your business.
Are you a human chicken? Do you struggle with urinary incontinence and then flock of chickens from Zelda attacking you if you didn't get the point, if you're older, young, or something?
When I first saw your face, I cried real tears. Second time I saw you up close, I vomited in my cup and pretended I was still drinking it, so no one would be embarrassed about how ugly you were. The third and final time I saw you is culminated in this suicide note. I'm sorry I can't exist in a world that contains your face.
Dude, you know how like a dead guy doesn't like puke unless he's like real gross? I'm kind of the same. I always thought the Illuminati was fake, but now the way they keep trying to make Jack Harlow a thing and he's in movies and ads and nobody cares, I'm starting to think it might be true. Rick Moranis might have shrunk the kids, but honey, it was his on-screen wife, Marcia Strassman, that made the men in the audience increase in size, if you take my knee. She was really good in the first season of MASH, too. Especially her haircut. Honeycutt, why on earth are you staring at me like that? Yeah, well, I shouldn't have to. Guys, I suggest we calm all this drama down and act like civilized adults, or at least like adults. Well, I certainly wasn't just acting like a maniac. Why can't you people be burned illegally? Bah, cretinous yahoos. Hi there, divers. I'm MacGyver, diving for a pair of pliers. I'll use to pluck out your eyeballs, 'cause you won't pay all my bills. Today I'm going to show you how to be a weird old guy with bad hair sitting in a chair humiliating himself on the internet. Pretty much copy everything you're seeing exactly and you'll be getting the hang of it. Cannibal pizza, grab a slice and it eats you! So I said, that's brutally inappropriate. And he's like, no, I'm brutally inappropriate. He's totally irresponsible. Sorry guys, it's my first day. The field is full of a harmonific soup that, if breached, could prove deadly. Harmonific soup. Data, that sounds made up. It does, sir. Would you like to arm wrestle? Data! You can say assertion, but it's an assertion. The only people who say assertion are assholes who say stupid shit like phraseology when they mean not the phrasing I would have used. But you don't have to take my re-adviceification for it. What do I know if I? So I says to this guy, who's like, you're a pathological studier of disease. And he's like, just say pathologist. I'm trying to be calm. Stick it a minute here. Just calm it down. If I can do it, so can you, you know. Let's all calm down for a second. Watch another one in a second. Just paper maps, long a mainstay of driver's glove compartment. Kids these days have forgotten just how fun it can be to... Johnny's whole life, he just wanted to be remembered. But now that he wished he would be forgotten. Who am I talking about? Johnny Pickle Penis. Why am I talking about him? Because we ain't forgetting him. For clarity's sake, I don't want any of that old detail, okay? It's old, it's outdated, I need that new detail, okay? That's why I always keep it more real than other content creators, okay? When I see the statistics that most of the people who watch my videos don't subscribe, I get it's because they didn't want to. They don't like it. They don't want to subscribe. I don't need to ask them, they didn't forget. I understand. My daughter was watching Daniel Tiger, and I said to my wife that O the Owl's uncle, X the Owl, is like the real life Ned Flanders. And then like 2 seconds later, I'm like, yes, because Ned Flanders is a cartoon, whereas O the Owl's Uncle X is a cartoon blue talking owl. He's the real life Ned Flanders. All I know, brother, is I'm going to go ham on this keyboard later, and then I'm going to go turkey on this guitar. If you can hear me now, I'm being held captive under a napkin. A guy's holding under his foot on a bus, and I think Delaware. I know we're heading to Vermont, but I don't think we've got there yet. He's sleeping for now. Please, he's in a blue hat. I'm on the left side in the third row. Perp Staffington. First time I met Perp, it was down in laundry school. And he was saying, you don't want to use the sanitizer too much. It'll be too sane. Oh, Perpy. Oh, I didn't know he killed his whole family, though. Catacomb living was getting me down. There was too much drama, not enough time underground. See, that doesn't work. Not enough time underground, and I packed my spelunking things. No, things. I packed. Check this out. It makes me look like Kano from Mortal Kombat. Where's the jewels? It's Kano's famous phrase from Mortal Kombat, his catchphrase. Where's me jewels? Where's me jewels? I'm Kano. So you're purple, inadmissible in court, and have just been extradited to New Zealand. No problem. With Bob Hopner Lawn Care, we'll have those teeth looking shiny and white before you realize none of what I said makes the slightest bit. Oh, goddamn, fucking dead.
In a salute to the worst missile silo crisis in over 40 decades, we will be pouring salt into the ocean to decrease global warming. When fully developed, this process can feed over 40,000 larks. We promise more bird variety in upcoming versions.
To express my atavistic distaste for Chick-fil-A, I call it chickophilia. But seriously, why do people put the fake Vivo logos down in the bottom of their self-made music videos? That's sad. Man, have I been barfing up the wrong treat. You know, that commenter was right. It is spyglass. So everything I said when I thought it was spyglass is obviously wrong. Your brain's like a cardboard dartboard. Because it's like full of holes and all like effed up and like not gonna last very long. That's the metaphor. So, feel insulted. Cringitude, I'm cringing to your longitude. Misogynists suck. And you know what double sucks? They get to have such a nice word in their name. Massages are nice. We need to call them like torturous or spitball mucus phlegmonists or something. Something sucky, man. You don't call serial killers caressinists. And if you do, you probably are one, man. Must be doing something right. For my hairstyle today, I was going for Dr. Wright from SimCity on the SNES, and I think I pretty much nailed it, color aside. I told him I don't want to be palindromes with you. I want to be just, at best, acquaintance drone. Not sure how to tell you, Reginald, but in my sphere of experience, all optical disc drives love, and they love cream. What you should do, my child, is fill your disc caddy with cream, snap it into your optical drive, and watch as the love outflow. I know of what I speak. I speak only that of which I know. I walk like a chicken bobbing my head because my drive is filled with cream and I love creamy cream, and I cream lovey love. So my disc drive is I-okay. Laser disc players do not lack cream. I tried a lot of different things. I tried being a cat burglar for a few years, but the problem was not getting the cats. It was finding people to sell them to. You couldn't make any profit. The margins were razor thin. According to Roseanne Barr, leftists run around going, "What's a woman? What's a woman?" And according to Roseanne Barr, apparently it's a giant frown that can scream. The Mandelbrot 8, as they were known, Phil, Peter, Stephen, Simon, Charlie, Stephen, and Steve, were then executed for being the worst boy band in the world. The execution of the boy band failed, however, when there was a syntax error in line 37 and an undeclared variable in the second subroutine. Federal judge was asked how did it feel to execute this boy band. "This what?" replied the federal judge. "The Mandelbrot 8, replied the investigative reporters. "Good then, I bet the Mandelbrot won't be hungry." Miscarriage of justice or Mr. Chariot of sympathy. Every time a dog barks, I get pissed because that's another crime Sherlock Holmes is not going to be able to solve. Yeah, when the senator first asked me to scramble in that 3D printed Iron Man suit, I thought he was a madman. When I found out his target was a chicken ranch in Idaho that he felt owed him easement taxes, I was out. And after 14 surgeries to repair my spine, I'm sorry, Senator, you must resign. Resign. Now, most people smoke cannabis saliva, but I prefer cannabis indicator because it gives me more of a cerebral palsy. I've been using the phrase "don't knock it till you tried it wrong" my whole life. I spent 3 hours on some guy's porch in the freezing cold eating half of his screen door off before I felt comfortable letting him know he was there. And he was like, "What are you doing?" And I explained. He's like, "That's not what that means." It's funny because the guy that they were trying to get out of jail in Half-Baked went on to make this very successful kid show that my daughters watch, Puppy Dog Pals, whereas Jim Brewer, on the other hand, became a real-life drooling cartoon dog. So it's funny how things... You can dishearten someone, but if you want to enhearten them, you gotta get all French with it and encourage them, you see? You see? Do you? When someone says take heart, they're encouraging you in a very literal sense. And when I eat your heart out of your chest, I'm discouraged. I don't know what to think. Could you tell me what to think? I need something to think, but I don't know what. Could you tell me? Do you know what I should think? It isn't just you. The Great Gatsby is a stupid book. Like, no, I don't have BDE, but I do have TDE, total dick energy, and it's not working out for me very well. One cool thing about having been raised by my grandmother and great-grandmother is that even now, as an adult, I could just bust out with some crazy theme songs that your ass probably never heard. Ghostbusters is one of those movies that you've seen your whole life since you were a kid, but you understand it more and more as you get older. Like, you know, it came out the year I was born. I didn't understand when I was a kid when Ray says that the readings buried the needle, that it meant he was skin-popping hoarse.
Everything was going wine at the fine factory when suddenly words began switching place in mid-sentence.
Now remember, you'll want to fiddle while you're eradicating the barn swallows. It gives them a false sense of confidence. You've got to lull them into hope before you can get them all. They infest barn. Don't let them get away. Don't be a grave robber. Well, you could be someone who opens up a grave and puts extra stuff in it and reburies it. Kind of gives your head and your heart. Oh, God! I think this is a big word. Oh! I'm having heart palpitations. My skin's clammy. I can barely breathe. I can't stand up anymore. My chest, I'm like shooting pains down my arm. So hot. Oh, I just gotta say, Bono, you're an insufferable prick. Okay, get over yourself. Ah, my chest. Get over yourself, man. You haven't been remotely relevant since Beautiful Day, and everyone, cool, heard Beautiful Day, hated it. Oh, hated it. Oh, I'll tell my kids I love them. Bono socks, Billy Corgan socks. So I walked in off the street to apply for this JOB, right? Jewish Online Brothel. And they discriminated against me. They said J-Date is not a brothel and it's for Jewish people only. One is left at a loss. Cringe is the first word in my channel description. So I do know. But he's a pretty cool guy. I don't know any of Wolverine's lines, but if I did, I would try and do an impression right now because my hair is just... What am I doing with my... It's not a dead guy stuffed in a handbag. It's not even a dead koala stuffed in a handbag. It isn't a dead handbag stuffed in a koala either. So that means it must... Oh, God. Say it isn't true. It must be a handbag stuffed full of sour candies. No. It's a handbag stuffed in a dead guy. Give me poop breaks. I could do this all day. He didn't know the way to church. He didn't know the way to school. He didn't go his way to go. He was a parking pro. But he ate the barley soup. Ate the barley. Why did the Birkenstock eliminate its stock portfolio? Because it couldn't eliminate its Birkin portfolio. Look, it's early. I'm a busy guy. All right, when I'm in harm's way, I have a technique. Whoa, hey, watch where we're going. No, we're 100% of the time. It's called, oh, God, I can't think of it. Ah! This guy saw one of my videos. He was like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. I was like, we've gone your whole life without encountering a mirror? Now, I don't think the homeowners are here, but if they are, you have to have a few bags of tricks. What you need is something you can use. Your arm as a fulcrum and magnify its weight. There's plenty of opportunities, So I was working at the administrative factory at this pancake lab, and off the street, this ocelot shuffles in, and he's got 2 bandages. So I pulled out a Luger, and I said, I bet this ocelot has no idea what this is, because it's an animal. So I threw it in the recycling bin, and then I threw the Luger in the recycling. You need to choose a capacious recycling bin, one that can withstand internal ocelot attacks. And Lugers. It's a sick, sad world. We're just living in it. I'm really embarrassed because I shit my pants and didn't get it on camera again. What's the point? The devil's backgammon knows no pride of place. It knows only the situation that it has found itself ensconced within. So turbulence is common when the angular momentum of this infinitude becomes known. Quantities are... You know, I make lots of videos and no one comments on them, and I assume nobody cares. But when an angry little white boy comments, nobody cares what you think, I know they're mad. Mad. If you want me to know you're mad and that my plan worked, comment nobody cares. Otherwise, just don't comment. The doctor says I'm permanent. The head injury is permanent. Isn't that great? Part of me is going to live on forever. I feel very blessed. Proud to announce the Windows 98 25th Anniversary Reunion Tour is coming to a city near you this Baltimore. Don't be... It's a story as old as time. You want to stop acting on your urge to hunt down and kill people, but you don't know where to turn for help. Society will judge you. And the law, well, let's just say that didn't go so well last time. Now there's hope. Read a book. Very upset about the way the crow-headed men with the lasers for eyes and the chainsaws for hands keep redeeming me in my sleep for tokens that they're spending it, like, closed down even, David Busters. They aren't even open anymore, so what are they spending these tokens on? The Google Pixel 7 Pro. With Zoom so good, I no longer have to violate the restraining order to see what Sandra's doing at 3 a.m. Thanks, Google. They call me Pissy Pete and they say clean up your pee. But my piss, bro, it yearns to be free. Yeah. Some human micropods wait for the news, but you don't have to with Gamma Ray. By invoking the name of our Lord and Savior in our patented vacuum tubes, you will become one with the cosmos. You'll be prodded gently to death by baleen culled from whales of the Antarctic. You know, my dad's a professional garbage repair salesman, so you better fucking watch it. Your mom barely even owns a van. You're nothing. You're garbage. And my dad could repair you and then sell you to someone, garbage boy. This, you know, I wasn't feeling good today. I pushed myself to make a video even though I wasn't feeling it. Talk about Star Trek. Someone rightly points out I said ectothermic like it meant endothermic. Fucking hate myself. Deleted the video, of course. My brother comes at me, he grabs me by the collar and he's like, did mom show you where her doubloons were? And I was like, honestly, dude, I never touched her. She's my mom. Christ. Unlike him, my criminal record is clean on that. I said, get your hands off me. This suit costs more than your education. It's like, we went to the same school. I was like, I know, but mine was worth more. And he's like, what are you even talking about? I'm like, fuck off. And then I pushed him into the coffin. It was a mess. Dad was pissed. I love it. It's great. Yeah, just do that. Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, that's what you should do. Yeah, no, I agree. Just let me die. A little bummed out. At first, I thought the whole, like, purposely not having friends thing was working to my advantage. But it's just like cover for, you know, nobody really can stand me for very long. And I've got very obvious, real issues. So it weirds people out. This has just stopped me from getting to sleep. Does re-dog mean dogs? Does dogology mean dogs? Does undog mean dog? No. So why the hell do you think you can stick whatever you want on a word you don't know what it means and it means... Lifting cabbage, Julie Babbage? I don't know why'd you have to thunk it. Standing on the fuselage, eating my mucilage. I know no insult I fling towards you can be too savage. 5 savage, 9 savage, 2 savage, 10, 3 savage, Julie Babbage. Do thou wist what I wot? I think not. Whatever you salvage, Julie Babbage, will be an unincorrigible scourge, an unendurable dirge. It will be, my friend, the last power surge before all circuits reverse. I eat limes. I don't really, but I defeat mimes because my words are 2 times what infinity says when you multiply it by 0. Blow mine. Listen to me, buddy. You're just a big fat duck pooping his pants on public television screaming, help me, the frogs are winning. You do not know. You are inappropriate. You're inappropriate. You're like the maze at the bottom of the sewer, and I'm not going back there. I'm not. Maybe I am. I don't know. Don't put me in a box. Scientists all over the globe have been paying kerbillions for particle accelerators, and it's so stupid. Because just as I pace around like a freaking maniac telling you this, I'm accelerating all my particles at a rate of, you'd have to be a scientist to know that, but I bet the tools to measure how quickly I'm walking are way less expensive than the crap at CERN. She said irreconcilable differences, and my lawyer was like, what are these differences? And she's like, he sucks and I don't. And I'll show you how with this simple USB hygrometer, you can measure the hygrometry of your hygro state. Andrew Fletcher, what's the name of your band's newest album? Ultra. I'm sorry, did you say Ultra? Yeah, Ultra. And I did after all the us. I'm actually an eco-theo-terrorist. If you don't preach my religion in schools, I'm gonna fucking throw spaghetti in your recycle bins. So... And my religion is waffles. Hi, my attention has recently come to, and I want to awaken you further. The pieces are all coming together. They've been together for so long, and their bond is so strong that it's just always simultaneous. It's amazing. It's a beautiful thing. Do you say it hermeneutics? Hermeneutics? Because, like, how, if someone named Herman knew people who were total assholes, how would you know you weren't talking about
that topic. What if you're like, hermeneutics? It's like, for how long? It's like, no, I'm talking about the power structure invested in hegemony or whatever. It's like, what? What is, so hegemony is the enemy of hygiene now because Herman knew some dickholes. This whole line of thought is just repugnant.
Mosquito tree defilement. A treatment for your candy top. Goatwin verticalis, goatwin horizontalis. Mephistoles mastophisto. The goat watches. The tree burns on. Beaver wails in the night and nobody comes to help. Ancient being of pure evil, temporarily rendered without form by a spell or curse of some kind, and you wouldn't know it if a PETA bites you in the ass, then you need spectral being computer repair. Contact me telepathically and I'll repair your computer telekinetically. Thank you for your business! Look, these beings are going to devour us all, so I'm just trying to get on their good side. Don't shoot the messenger. You guys should be doing this too, frankly. So whatever you do, act cool and the formless beings of pure evil start manifesting because they are serious. Formula One racing. I know it's a thing, but other than that it involves cars, I don't know if it's like NASCAR, if it's a type of racing, if it's just a thing. There's so much I don't know. So much. Factual fact. That tobacconist is whack and he'll take a crap in your knapsack and you won't get it back. It's at least partially true. So I was browsing on Nextdoor, and this guy's like, a guy in black sweatpants robbed me at gunpoint today on the block. And I wrote back, that's so funny. I'm wearing black sweatpants, and I robbed a guy at gun handle today. It's funny how these weird synchronicities. And what's the deal with comedians from the 90s? All they do is complain about things that don't actually matter. It almost makes you sick to look at. Whenever I witness this level of depredation, I think, good, it's working. Just need Sector 2 to step it up. It's slipping in the West. We need more depredation. You're so broke that your Werther's originals are cheap knockoffs. Bootleg Werther ass. On them broke grannies eating fake ass Werthers. Hit me up. You up, grannies? I ain't picky unless I'm playing bass, girls. Why die spiritually when you could kill mentally? Hi, I'm your new life coach guru guide, not cult leader. We'll get to my name in future videos once you've shown your loyalty. But yeah, I could show you all this. What you gotta understand is that like spiritual soul vampires exist. It's not just like in that show, okay? It's not just the dude from the thing. They come at you and they are ready to kill and they are ready to destroy and they're ready to suck your slurp. You know, like they say in that movie, Dr. Weird Guy, like your vital essences, that's what they do. It's not a joke. It's not funny. You can't ride a boat. What you gotta do is kill, but not like physically, like it's a metaphorical kill. You gotta strike back the forces that oppose you. Like, you know how in other cults they have things like suppressive persons or whatever they call it, in each different cult, it varies by cult by cult. These are the people who are bad because they're not in the cult. So you have to mentally think like bad at them until they physically disintegrate in real life. But yeah, it's karaoke night at the not cult. I know I said cult. You know the MASH episode where Hawkeye walks around naked and everything covers it up like conveniently like in a cartoon, but it was real life. After that, everyone on set called him Alan Aldong after that. Arlene knows what I'm talking about. Late night pants shitting getting you down, you need early morning trouser repair. Look, it's not a quick fix, but your problem is serious. As a little kid, I got so disappointed when I found out that explosive diarrhea didn't mean poop that literally like combusted and burst into an inferno of flame when you pooped it. I was like, well, that's a letdown. I felt like they hyped it so much. It's just extreme diarrhea. You don't call extreme hiccups tornado hiccups, do you? What have you done to a Klondike bar? Tell me! People think I'm really conceited just because I don't want to be them. And it's like, I couldn't change who I was anyway. Don't have to take it so personally. And another thing. That's another thing. People are always like, Wichita. It's like, how many Itaas can there be? Is it really that confusing? Remember those pretty crayon names, the colors of the names of the colors when you were little? Like, why can't life be more like that? You know, all the ceruleans and stuff, it just ends. The burnt umbers of this world, it promises so much beauty. And it's like, I want to become like a Pantone, like, fanboy. Can't there just be some colors? Do I have to, like, type in 3F54 hexadecimal into some website? There. Actually, typing hexadecimal into a website sounds... This guy was like, you ever been assaulted? And I was like, assaulted what? Assaulted popcorn? Assaulted peanut? What were you going to say, bro? And then he assaulted me. I was at the coffee stop drive-thru getting coffee, and they're like, would you like to add a turkey bacon mini? I'm like, well, it's funny you should ask that because I'm a lizard goat Mickey. I would like to subtract it, please. I had to go to a different coffee shop to actually get my coffee. Then, as I pulsed at the sight of her pulchritude, she passed me a papaya. Just testing out. I've been hired to do an audiobook for like an alliterative bodice ripper. I'm not really into the subject matter, but it sucks because it's like I'm changing my medication doses, and as I lower it, it's making me feel more violent urges and angry thoughts and stuff. But it's like I haven't seen Mel Gibson anywhere, so it's like a total waste. Did you know, in the time it takes to watch this YouTube video, I will have finished this sentence. I don't know what the woke generation is, Home Depot co-founder, and I don't know what your message for them is because who gives a shit? But I do know that when I see your obituary, I'll say, isn't that piece of shit who said all that shit? Fuck him. And then I will... My stage name evades fame. I'm gonna say it anyway. I'm Coco Bidet. Good evening. It's recently come to my attention that there are people who disagree with my opinions on the internet. I'm sorry to inform you your contracts have not been renewed. Please see yourself out. Thank you. I knew you'd understand. I said, sir, do you realize how insane it is that you're interviewing an imaginary duck for a web video that no one's going to see? And then the duck said, you're the guy doing it. And I stuck back and I realized I was looking at a mirror. We interrupt this regular schedule for a constipated schedule. Look, Iron Boot Sam dropped me from the team without a word, and now you're telling me that for pennies a day, I can have entertainment for the entire family? You've got my attention, interest, listening. For quarters a day, can I have you kill Iron Boot Sam? That'd be great. That'd be entertainment. When Emerson, Lake, and Palmer first announced their supergroup, I was like, they seriously got Lake? Now, whenever my wife asks me to do something I don't feel like doing, stop, you're going to make me drop a donkey. It doesn't work. But I say it. No, Chunky Pete, you're not supposed to eat laundry. Puadladimba Garlantan Schlit were flinkerden. In course, Sklenderen on the Schweiz conflict was split. To split on police conscript las folias. Und script der las folias scorn volt. On the hen, and the pack meme, the horse, and the Kleist, boats asking the having the shows. Hadela was der Film der Crash, Crash die Vandals? Na, Dream Down conflict on, conflict an alien told. Ach, Schlitzen ha, und floats and hiding on cloud, flowing into the floor. Oh, he's got floor for a guard, and Gibson hiding holding blinking hard. What is it going to be? Eastern hand on the Mose and Hoven time, man. In case don't flare and sleep from this domestic attack, but also naf, kick, all the other, all frank discards, or Vitalarian. Oh, why stop talk? He's going to feel at Ayabud, and I'm going to nast, beep, and quite a little, feel sure, beep, no, test, this, oh, I'm so smell, in this cafe, why, guys, I'm at a low point. My cottage cheese is barely a shed milk, and it's like, what am I doing wrong? When you're like me, you gotta keep jamming bugs in your ear or you'll start to scream at the neighbors about sheep. The problem with this is, in the wintertime, acquiring bugs has been quite difficult. Until now. I'm not just a member, I'm also the president and only person who believes in my bug producing system. It is, you just leave a bunch of food out. Damn it, I shouldn't have told everybody what it was. Fuck. Still pay me money. Ladies and gentlemen, I interrupt your broadcast because reports of a special sex exchange pigeon have been kidnapped from the local zoo. If you have any information about the whereabouts of these kidnapped reports, you thought it was a pigeon, please contact us at the local zoo. This pervo pigeon wants it back. When I was older, so much older than I am, I used to think that cows were where they all got ham. Those days haven't happened yet, but I'm sure they soon will. Pretty soon they'll legalize chickens to take the pill. Scalp me if you can tell bleeding crown. I'm sure this species ate everything around. Smell me, get my lead and copper down. Won't you please smell me. Ooh. People keep pitching these crazy movie ideas at me, and it's like, I'm not a movie producer. Why do I get all these pitches? But this guy, he's like, it's a real life thriller. I'm like, okay, I'll listen. You know, he bought me a drink, so I'll listen. I don't drink, but he bought one for me. And so I'm dumping it in the house plant, kind of pulling a Louis C.K., but in a good way, dumping the alcohol in the house plant. And he says, here's my idea, okay? So a guy goes up to Justice Alito, not Chief Justice, but he thinks he is Alito. Remember, this is a real life thriller. I'm like, okay, I'm following, dude, you know, because I'm not drinking and I'm dumping it in the plant. I'm like, dump. And then I'm like, oh, you know, you're not going to catch me off guard. Maybe I'll sign a movie deal with him, even though I'm not a producer, and be on the hook for a $22 million budget, Anyway, I says, this guy goes up to Sam, Alito, and he says, you think I'm going to burn in hell forever after I die, right? And Alito's like, well, yeah. And he's like, then this is what it'll feel like in Naples. Business advice! Are you conducting interviews for a position that involves reading or writing? Then what you should do during the interview, after you've established that they're a chill person, hand them a paragraph you've printed out and say, can you tell what this means? If they can't, doesn't matter how chill they are, they're not a great fit for that job. You've heard those celebrity body language experts. I'm a celebrity body language expert language reader. I can tell you what the body language experts are really thinking based on the language they use to describe celebrities' bodies. I was reading People magazine how Jennifer Lopez was controlling by tapping with the back of her hand, and Ben Affleck was reproached by it. When body language experts use the word reproach about Jennifer Lopez, it means they're having an affair with their tennis coach. Notice how she used the phrase tapping and hand close to each other? This is a typical signal when someone is about to set fire to the church that they went to with their grandparents when they were kids. So just if you become an expert on these things like I am, then when body language experts tell you exactly what's going through the minds of celebrities, you can know what they're thinking too. That's all I'm trying. This Judy body language expert described an A-list routine. People who are body language experts named Judy who say the phrase A-list routine. This is because they're secretly ableists who flunked pre-algebra and never got over it. Don't even worry about it. You probably are asleep. Don't worry, you're not falling asleep because you're probably just dreaming that you're not falling asleep. So you'll be stressed out when you wake up. So it's fine. I'm dreaming. Keep dreaming. Don't wake up. Keep sleeping. Sleep, sleep, sleep. I'm not dreaming. This is my dream. I'm asleep right now. I've been in a mood today, and it's contributed greatly to my affect. Because they're synonyms, you see, so its contribution has been vast. I'm pegging it at near 100%. Oh no, but now I'm worried that my well-being isn't contributing to my peace of mind. I'll never forget the time my dad found out I was gay, which is weird because I'm straight and he died when I was a kid, so I'm actually seeing a neurosurgeon. It's just a consult, but next Tuesday. To try and get to the bottom why I remember this. But I swear to you, Vermilion Smythe, on the name of my fathers, I shall not forsake you here. And then I was like, dude, what are you talking about? And he's like, you want Vermilion Smythe? And I was like, not even close. And he's like, much apologies. Are you perhaps Ceruleans and Jim? I'm about to reveal this huge break. This family has no idea. I've been living in their attic and basement through this event that I'm able to fit through because it was made in the 1920s before current regulations. Anyway, I've been living here and sneaking up in their kitchen and eating all their shit and stuff. I've been pooping in their kitchen. Whenever I'm writing the book for a musical, I think I must communicate the most thought in the fewest words. They call me anti-militant because I'm an anti-militant man. The fact that I'm a man doesn't factor in when they call me anti-militant. But to say I was an anti-militant one sounds forced and contrived. Ergo, I have made my prior choices known. This way, the audience is instantly swept up in the story and character, etc. Breaking up with a friend can be one of the hardest things you ever have to do. Here's an example of how you can do it in a caring, sensitive way. Look, bro, ever since your weed contact got arrested, you're just not useful to me anymore. You were just hanging out with me because you were using me instrumentally to get weed? Yeah, and you know what? Ever since your guy got arrested, we realized it's cheaper and quicker if we just drive over to Terre Haute and get some. It's legal over there and then come back. As long as we don't speed, there's not... You don't even like me? But we made 3 albums together. Yeah, well, you know the stuff you put up with from weed dealers, it sucks. You never think of it from the buyer's perspective. Anyway, bye. I'm never going to talk to you again. Delete my number. That minimizes the, awkward. I call my form of activism a full frontal assault, right? Because the way I do it is I go in just totally naked and just start smacking people. I'm legally obligated to say that. But anyway, I'll be moving in next door. It was a man of sauce, loony, a man of sauce, word never know. Man of sauce, loony. But think of the artists of that era, and their influence is just lingering. I mean, Kubla Khan, Farty Farty Fish Face, and the list goes on. I can tell you what you were thinking, but I can only tell you what you would have thunk if I hadn't told you what you were thinking. Once I tell you, it changes your thinking pattern, so it's really kind of a narrowly employable trick. This cake baking guy who wants to deny people service. Here's the thing. Do you ever think that you're free to not be a baker if it violates your rights? Okay? Why do you have to be free to be a baker who gets to say bigoted things and deny people? Fuck. I'm royally pissed and tyrannically angry because my favorite VR app, Booty Island VR3 Revenge of the Booty XR, was taken down off the Duolingo app, off the Windows Phone Store, and it was even taken down from the Bing web experience. All my DLC gone. Are you confused how to move forward now that you hate J.K. Rowling? As someone who always saw through her BS, I will help you out. Hogwarts is an ugly name for a school, okay? Diagon Alley isn't clever. If you put a gun to my head and said, sincerely say, the wizarding world is a good name for a thing, or I will shoot you, I would say, tell my kids I love them. So what if you commit a non-criminal act with criminal intent? Isn't the fact that your intent is to be a criminal, shouldn't people still be able to sanction you in some manner? I find the more THC I vape, the more curious about this question I become. Oh, Anne's raggedy, but Andy just gets by. Sure, you could say the raggedy applies to both Anne and Andy, but Andy skates through raggedy as fuck and no one can say anything about it because he's a white male. You know how you can tell I'm young and cool? I know what Raggedy Ann and Andy are. In my day, the carriages were drawn by real horses, not these pampered city horses. If someone says that girl really knows how to pack a Pampers, I hope it's not a sex thing. I mean, if it's between consenting Pampers wearing adults, I just don't know how big they make those things. Why are you talking to me about this? This is weird. I've seen an awful lot of ocelots. Forehead porridge America! Today the first again is here. We have to do the thing. I've been able to trim my beard for weeks. My name is Preston Digitation, and I'm here to sell you magic cards, and I know you don't want to buy my... No, okay? Yeah, my uncle told me not to go to magic school. Why? It's been 20 years since I was super into Lord of the Rings, but still, every time Netflix asks if I'm still watching, I think, what business is it of yours what I do with my own thing? And it's a good metaphor for life, because in that situation, I should just hit okay, and the same for everything else. So, if you're not Bezos, you know what I'm talking about. Every day on this planet, we get metaphorically pummeled by the forces of evil, right? And, you know, if you're one of the pummelers, you're like, what is he talking about? So there's like 5 people who won't get what I'm saying. But like what I'm saying is for certain people between the ages of 14 and 14, you can get super pummeled in a non-metaphorical sense by like, it used to be fashionable to call them dead bitches, but that sounds like a gendered insult. And this isn't about the gender. It's the life essence or what, you know, you think a living person has a life force and elan vital. Well, these people have a death force, you know, and then that more, okay? And it's like they come at you and they grab. They have this grasping motion, much like a dromaeosaurid. You know, they could pull inward, and that's what they do. And they pull inward to pull you out, and then you're like, ugh! So
the goats that I like to impale don't much care for the process. It's kind of disappointing to be the only thing in a goat's life that it doesn't like, but you know I'm not the sharp blood-coated pike. You know I'm just a guy shoving it into their organs.
One-of-a-kind tomato centipede has clocked in at over 900 decibels when we walked him back and forth in front of Stanley Utter's garbage store, the store that sells the best phone advice in the free market. You can join today with only one payment of money down, money up, and money to the left.
What kind of taxi cab driver deals himself into a crunch factory only to let the spire fall off in the middle of the ceremony? My last name is Vance. I have all sorts of property in Kentucky and the Derby, and those horses don't run for free, so please pass the hat around gypsum salt rock elevator.
The ferocious dinosaur kneecapped me immediately, and I knew I was dealing with a trained assassin. I poured glitter in his eyes, leaving him dustless and reproved. He based himself on French existentialist theory, and I knew I had met my match. I matched him immediately, and we began our date.
She's like, manic phase, what the fuck are you talking about? So I took this chisel, and I chiseled this like paragraph about how crazy it was to say that I was having some manic phase in the wall, and the chisel wore down, so I took this hammer and I repaired it, and I hammered it, but the hammer broke off in the end, so here I am just chopping it into the wall with the wooden hammer handle, and it's like, what are you talking about, manic phase? There is an undisclosed location where watermelons are known to grow. All I can say is it's near
a bay. I won't say whether it's up or down. It's just near. Do you know of what I speak? Have you seen? I don't go there. I'm scared. I'm just scared of what my mother would say because she would start asking questions.
This guy comes up to me, he's like, do you want to be a drug mule? And I was like, both of my parents were humans. It's a little late for that. You should have caught me when my mom could have been a donkey and my dad could have been a horse, okay, buddy? Do you want to be a larceny parakeet? I mean, allow me to pass judgment on a number of things. Your submarine, a derisible dirigible. Your Novocaine, a pathetic anesthetic. Your isopropyl alcohol is an ineffective antiseptic. And your face is butt ugly. This ever happened to you? You want to shit your pants in public, but your dick keeps popping out. You know pissing your pants would add to the effect, but if people see your wet shoes, they're never going to notice the dookie you've cooked up in your dump truck. How do you handle this? Please. And the guy says, I'm a camp counselor. And I said, at your age? That seems indecent. And he's like, no, you misunderstand. I counsel camps. I was like, so you're like a consultant? He's like, no, like if a camp is feeling down, I will talk to them. And I'm like, this is fake. That's the thing about reaction videos. Do I want to watch you talk over an album that you're not listening to for the first time as you tell me what you think about the album you can't hear because you're talking about it? Why wouldn't I just hit myself in the head with a brick and be done with it? People are always asking me this. They're saying, am I an insufferable prick? Well, they're not really asking me, but I am letting them know. Dude, yeah, you actually pretty much are insufferable. Brought to you by the Urban Dairy Farmers Association Medical Cheese Marijuana. Why, when it comes to congressional districts, do Republicans realize they need to gerrymander to seem like a majority? But in social media, they're certain they're being shadow banned. They must know they're not popular, or they wouldn't focus on gerrymandering so much. So it's deeply So I got the first diss track made against me. I've never had that before, so it's like, and I'm trying to understand the lyrics. They said, here, let me try to remember. You're a poodle flogging, noodle dogging, some nuding pools with your mommy, eating Haagen-Dazs while your dad's hogging frogs. You still collect pog. I'm like, damn, they're roasting me. They're making me look like a fool. How can I come back from this, guy? I'm gonna be like, yo, you Beanie Babies, they're middle-aged. You look like you've been middle-aged since the Middle Ages. Bluegrass music is primarily fiddle-based. It's for the middle-aged freebasers who live at home on the range. I mean, I don't know what to say to this guy. I feel like he's got me down pat. You're a permanent tadpole, and I'm about to dissect a frog. No, that's not gonna work. Shit! This guy's like, if you ever come near my wife, I'll shoot you. I was like, if you ever come near your wife, it's because you're in the other room watching tarantula porn, you sick fuck. You know what they used to say, wait till we get our hands on you. I stood in that warehouse for 20 years, half of my life, waiting for someone to finally come along. Nobody ever got any hands on me. It was a waste of time. It was a lie. So about 20 years ago, I was at a party at my neighbor's house, and I was the last person there besides this guy that none of us knew. All night long, he'd been talking to everyone. We'd been like, do you know this guy? Nobody knew him. And then at the end of the night, we're stuck with him, like 2:30 a.m. I just lived next door, so I was going to help my neighbor out. It was sort of like a get help a bit to help get this guy pushed out the door. My neighbor thinks I'll use the lever of shame. So he says, let's all say the most embarrassing thing we've never told anybody. And I was like, what do you mean? Playing along. And he goes, one time when I was 6, I pooped and I was wiping my butt and the toilet paper broke and I touched my butthole. And I was mystified. I was like, when you were 6, you accidentally touched your butthole. I was like, when I was 14, I experimented with it to see if I like it. And it ends up, it wasn't that great, but it sure did get me to improve my hygiene. I guess that's the embarrassing thing for me. And this third guy, we didn't know. He goes, he's like, that's nothing. I gave my own butt genital anal warts spread from my dick. Anyway, when do I get to share an embarrassing fact? Note how all our competitors say their products are part of a nutritious breakfast. Yeah, the part you don't eat. Why eat parts of a nutritious breakfast when you can have gaping, globby spoonfuls with oops all lard? Think about it. You're too busy for food. Found that the temporary tattoos that work with water, they don't last very long, but the iron-on ones, they last a long time. Well, the marks from it. At work, when somebody writes a business sentence and there's no capitalization, it's like, and they clearly worked hard on the wording of the sentence. It's like a guy going up to give a speech with no podium and his flies unzipped and his dong's hanging out. I was like, after that, what you say doesn't really matter. I almost spat out a spoonful of my morning mucilage reading the news. Disgraced comedian Jim Brewer was in the news. Jim Brewer, the cook from Titan AE. What could have made Jim Brewer, former SNL comedian, current failed garage door salesman, what could put this slob in the news? Well, it ends up that he doesn't like the phrase, trust the science. And it is not because of his conservative beliefs. It is actually because of a different reason. It's because that's the phrase a delivering obstetrician told his mother when she begged him to have the baby James aborted, burned alive. He said, there's a good chance this baby will not grow up to be Jim Brewer. Trust the science. And ever since then. Just to note, if you're white and call black people blacks and I could kill you from space, then I would. You know that old saying? Some days you're the bug, some days you're a worm, sometimes you're a nasty little snail, sometimes you're a freaking creepy crawly centipede with little hunks of bug meat dripping off your pinchers. God! I don't know what to think about this. Like, I've been thinking about it a lot just the last, 30 seconds. Take an animal, let's just say a wombat. Wombats don't have law, right? There's no written law anyway. But do wombats perceive the actions of their fellow wombats as crimes sometimes? Is there a moral, in what would a crime mean in a world where a larger animal can come along and eat you at any minute? They can commit affronts to each other, creatures of the same species. They can commit affronts to each other, but do they perceive this as a crime being committed against them, or as a wrong, or as an unfortunate circumstance? And there's, I don't believe right now any way to know, so I hope I don't think about this much longer, but it is a good question.
Hello, please prepare the admixture of goat guano and poinsettia pistils and stamens. I will watch. I will wait. Ensure that it is fully mixed. No, sir, I do not believe that admixture is as mixed as fully as could be. I will watch. That is sufficiently mixed. Please, sir, stop. You are crushing the poinsettia pistils and stamens. It is garbage. It is soup. It is garbage. Please begin again. Prepare me the admixture of goat guano and poinsettia pistils and stamens. I will watch as you mix.
Like and subscribe, and the ghost of John F. Kennedy will assassinate Colin Jost. Back to you.